Well, Hellfire has rocked a riff, and I'm back for another Metalhead Envy. And it has been a long time since I've done a Shadow of Intent song. I really got into this band way before I ever did my YouTube channel, so I didn't do a lot of reactions to the albums I already know. Reclaimer, that album is a 10 out of 10, one of the best metal albums I ever heard. Basically, what made me want to buy this hoodie. I really digged Melancholy. I think that's the name of the album after that. Let me make sure. Yeah, Melancholy. The first album, Primordial, was really cool. The newest one, Elegy, I don't know. I'd have to dive through it a couple more times. I went through it all once. I don't know why. It just didn't click with me as much as Reclaimer and Melancholy did. But I just found out today that they've got a new single out, The Migrant. And there's an actual official music video. So hopefully I'll be able to dive into this, post it, and not get blocked. I just did another reaction to a song and it got blocked. But so now I'm gonna check out the Migrant. I'm really excited to hear this because I don't know. I hope I get the same like Reclaimer and Melancholy vibes from this. I like Shadow when they're like just doing some crazy cool progressive, heavy ass music. I saw him live one time, and one of the best live shows I've ever watched. I had so much fun at that live show. But either way, let's dive in to The Migrant. Okay. Looks like the Ishimura. Dead Space style. Yeah. Shadow does have some crazy cool orchestral stuff. Fuck yeah. Already pretty intense. I have to give it to hope I'm saying his name right, Ben Dewar or Ben Deer. I'm not 100% positive on that. That dude is one hell of a fucking vocalist. His harsh vocals, they just have such a fucking awesome sound to them, man. The music video is super CG. It's super CG. I don't know who's playing drums for him now. I know at one point they had a guy, I think his name was Anthony something, Anthony Barone, I think. I'm not sure who plays drums for him now. I thought when it was showing him hitting that crash right here, it kind of looked a little weird. Looks like he was barely going backwards and forwards on that. Yeah, just lightly tapping it like a wand. Is this an HD? Dude, I love that chunky section right there. Like, that downbeat is fucking sick. But even then, kicking back into the up tempo stuff, the orchestral coming in with it. That's one thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I know all kinds of crazy metal bands that do a lot of orchestral stuff. Shadow's one of my favorites, and they do that so well, man. I want to know how they get that. Like, is that an actual? I wouldn't imagine that's an actual orchestra that they reach out to record these parts. It's got to be a plug-in. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how much pull Shadow has in the metal community or in the music industry and all that. Because I would imagine reaching out to a full choir and orchestra, that costs a shit ton of money. And as fast as Shadow puts out stuff, I would imagine there's got to be like a plug-in and everything that does stuff like that. I know there is, honestly. Like my band, we just sent off one of our songs to this lady in Australia. Her name is Mystique. She does some really cool stuff. She does these pimp ups of songs, metal songs, and we're hoping what she can do for ours will be take it to the next level and everything. And some alien infection. Oh, that piano. That piano is so cool. It just adds that little bit of extra salt to that shit right there. I am curious though, is this song like, I think, now don't quote me on this, I think Reclaimer, somebody had mentioned to me that whole album, I don't know the lyrics. I'm the world's worst for lyrics. I don't really look up lyrics a lot. But somebody had mentioned to me Reclaimer was about Halo. And so I'm wondering if this song is also about Halo, or I don't know. I think of Dead Space when I see it. Maybe because that just recently got the remake and came out and I'm thinking about it, but like this whole space setting, and now we got that crazy looking alien goop seeping into the ship. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That shit is so sick, bro. I like that. Like, to me, that's some good screaming. I've had some people comment on some other stuff of mine that'd be like, man, I can't believe you didn't like the screaming. I'm like, well, dude, when you listen to a lot of metal bands that have a lot of vocalists out there that do harsh style vocals like this, you kind of like, when you've heard people that are really good at it, you can tell when people are not that good at it. And this dude's one of those guys that's really good at it. It's like, I still think my favorite, and I know I've said this in a lot of videos, is Tatiana from Ginger. I like the fact that when she sings clears, it's beautiful. It helps the fact that she's a beautiful woman to begin with, but she sings beautiful cleans, and then when she goes into fucking these harsh vocals, it sounds like they're straight from the pits of hell and fucking just dark, evil. The good shit. The good shit. And this guy's another one of those dudes. To me, he just sounds like he is tapping into the power of Satan to fucking nail these fucking just dark, harsh vocals. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. That shit hit hard. Shadow's another one of those bands I would love to work with and understand how they go about writing music. Because I feel like in my own band, if I had access to do like these orchestral sections, how would I write riffs then? Because everything I write now with my band, I base it on like what can two guitars do live. Like we used to have a bass player with us, and so we would write songs in that sense. Then we would what can two guitars and a bass and drums do live? I think that's part of like what might be the hurdle for my own band is when we write stuff. That's why we had to send our song off to Mystique. It's because we wrote this track and we still it's all about part of it, most of it is when we write our music, we're like, what can we do live that we only rely on ourselves? It's like we've worked with some other bands, really cool bands, and they use backing tracks and they have to have a computer to be able to do all this cool, crazy shit. And don't get me wrong, I'm like, God Almighty, if I had a team or if I had the knowledge to do that, I would love to be able to do that. But at the same time, I still take pride in the fact that we don't need none of that shit. We just need me and the other two band members with our instruments on stage. I mean, we got pedal boards, of course. We got amps. Those are givens. But either way, we still rely on our own chops and skills to make sure our song sounds full. We definitely miss a bass. We're looking for a bass player. We're looking for a keyboardist. Then we're looking for a vocalist. We want all these elements. But I would love to work with Shadow at one point just to see, because I'm pretty sure these guys, when I saw them live, they had a couple computers. And I know there's this whole stigma of, well, if you can't play your music without a computer, then what are you? Or you got to have computers and all that. I do agree with a lot of both sides of that. I do think even if, say, you come to a show and your computer crashes, I still think the band should be able to perform. Maybe they won't have certain sound elements that they do on this live or the studio version, but at the same time, the main, I guess 90% of the song to me should still be what's physically being played. And the extra 10 or let's say 10 or 20% is these extra things going on, unless your full setup playing live is with this full orchestra playing all this crazy stuff. But it's fascinating. I still love it. As it goes, as far as it goes, is like studio albums. What do I really dig? I love shit like this, man. I love all this crazy sounds going on. And I've mentioned in older videos, I like a lot of bands. To me, what holds them up is lack of money to fund certain tools that you actually need to do crazy stuff. But I can say, in the case of the Migrant, I kind of like the song more than the last album. I need to go back through Elegy a couple more times and give it a couple more chances and see exactly what it is about that record that didn't stick with me. Because it's like Melancholy and Reclaimer. My first listen through on those albums, I was just hooked. I was like, dang, oh man, they are pulling all the stops. Shadow does have a particular sound, in my opinion, which is like what's going on with the Migrant here. I wouldn't say that they're venturing too far from what makes them sound like Shadow of Intent, but at the same time, they're doing what they do really well. This song is fucking killer. I think I would give it at least a 9 out of 10 horns. The music video is cool. It's really done well CG. You can't never see any of the actual musicians for shit though. I mean, it's mostly their silhouettes. I think the only thing about this music video that really kind of gets at me is it looks like I'm looking through a dirty bottle glass the whole time. Even in HD, it's very foggy or murky. Whatever words you want to use to best describe. But I'm excited. I hope Shadow's got some more singles or another album just around the bend, because I'm ready to dive more into one of my favorite bands. Shadow is still, I would still put Shadow Intent in at least my top 20 metal acts out there right now. And I can't say the live show I saw of them, they sound just like the studio performance. It was really fun. It was me and actually the rest of my band. We went and seen them along with like Signs of the Swarm, and there was a couple other acts. I can't remember their names. But we were there for Shadow, and we had a fucking blast, man. They fucking murdered. But now I'm curious. Maybe I need to look up the lyrics of the Migrant and see what's going on. Is this Halo or Dead Space or just some like a basic sci-fi premise with a ship and an alien infection? It's pretty cool though. The song is fucking sick nasty. If this is your first time listening to Shadow, I'm telling you right now, go listen to their albums Reclaimer and Melancholy. Those two albums are fucking sick nasty. They are metal masterpieces. And if this is your first time to my channel, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me some song suggestions. It doesn't have to be any more Shadow Intent. Like I said, I know most of these songs, so I wasn't going to do a bunch of reactions to songs I already know. But I'm always wanting to hear other metal bands, other music. It doesn't have to be a metal act. It can be whatever you're feeling at the time. I'm always trying to increase my music palette and listen to bands across the world and everything. And with that, stay positive, stay rocking. I'll catch y'all in the next one.